Siete già costituiti?
Oggi,
Oggi?
stamattina.
Ah,
Oddio, questo breakdown mentale perché è stato...
pesante, sì.
Ok.
I know. Ciao Dani. Bene. Gialla o blu?
Gialla, grazie.
Vabbè. Hello, I'm Filippo. I'm product engineer lead at Brix Supply, and we are developing software for procurement in construction industry. We are part of the acceleration program at B4I.
Hello, I'm Daniele, co-founder of Revivo. We want to provide a fully outsourced repair services to fashion brands and part of the pre-acceleration program.
One curiosity I have is what differentiates an acceleration to a pre-acceleration company or venture? At what stage are you in terms of development of the company product or vision?
We have just incorporated the company today. It was a long journey, but we decided it was like the right moment. The pre-acceleration is where you validate your idea and start building your MVP.
How far are you in your MVP development?
One thing we have learned is to go simple. We don't need a super tech application right now, just spreadsheets and some tool to link these spreadsheets and manual work. That's a good thing that I've learned during this program.
Yeah. At the time of your application, were you just an idea or were you already testing things with potential clients?
We were just an idea because we have two different backgrounds. Me and my co-founder, Matteo, have been working for Revivo Kilo for many years. So he had like the knowledge. I'm a consultant. We met each other during another project that deals with electronic repairs.
I see the point. There's a big trend there as well.
And you tell me.
I had just quit my job because I was looking into jumping into a startup or founding one. I already knew Tommaso, who brought in the idea, and I was hooked by the way he was approaching the problem and the scope, B2B in Italy, something big as a market. So that's where I said, okay, this is a great opportunity. And in terms of where we were at the time of the application, for sure we had an MVP that we could demo during the application process.
You were just you two.
No, it's three because Tommaso met Luca. I decided to jump into Brix. We are three amazing co-founders.
But you were like friends?
At the time, like Steve Jobs said, connecting the dots. Tommaso, I hosted him at my apartment. When I was opening the restaurant location abroad, we swapped a room. And that's when I met him 3 years ago. While Luca, we met him through a friend of Tommaso.
So when you started, you already had
proof of something working, ideas, or at least the product has changed a little bit. The vision somewhat, but the way we approach potential clients. Right now, we're close to getting things in the hands of clients outside the beta, going live finally. At the time, it was mostly just a working MVP with an idea. And of course, already had done interviews with potential clients, presenting the idea to them. So we already have some design partners.
So you did the validation by yourself?
Idea validation actually still happened during the acceleration program, at least in the first month we were here. So it took us 4 or 5 months to really validate what we wanted to.
You mean validation with when you have like real data, so you can say, okay, this is the right way? Because we learned from the pre-acceleration that like talking with potential target clients, target persona, it's the first step like to validate your idea. Since we are early stage, we talk with a lot of target personas, clients and so on. When's the point when you say, okay, the market's there?
I would say we didn't validate with actual data. We saw it firsthand, especially with a client, our client or design partner again, who really showed us end to end and proved us that we weren't wrong about the assumption we were making. We said, this is what we need. This is what they need actually. And so that's where we said, okay, this is the vision. And we set in the stone and we said, we're going to work toward it. Of course, there are things that we will implement later on as we need traction on both sides for us, suppliers and constructors. But for now, we're starting from making sure we engage with contractor and they hook in, or they stick to the platform. So we're investing our time in building this foundation. I had a question for you. I'm curious how you're progressing, structuring, giving shape to your idea or product you want to build. I think it's the most interesting part, which is also something I was realizing when I was working in my previous job, is the way you conceptualize your idea or the knowledge of what you're solving in your head. At first, it's a mess in your head. One thing I realized is you get to express your idea with fewer words because you have a clear picture.
First, we start with the concept of repair. that was like also involved in the previous project. And then we start talk with people, talk with like target personas maybe, we didn't know at the time, with brands, with like a normal customer, with all the stakeholders involved in this ecosystem, customer, brands, artisan, craftsmen, for example. And then we start like shaping this idea from words to a concrete product. It's still ongoing. We are investigating different business model because so far it's not super clear, because in the fashion industry nothing is clear in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also the financial model it's quite complicated. Our idea is to transform this activity from a cost center into a revenue stream. And also thanks to the new regulations in Europe, we really think that can be the game changer, because brands will be not forced but push to implement sustainable actions. And the repair, it's like one of the things, or the main things actually, that they can implement.
Yeah, what you said about turning it into a revenue center. I see the point.
That's the point. In the Italian market, we have a huge, broad number of artisans and craftsmen. And this is the power of Italy, in my opinion. We can craft everything. It's like an art.
True, you give a new touch to these apparels, I guess,
Yeah.
right? You put a patch and it becomes your custom jacket, I would say.
Yeah, we want to empower these craftsmen. We are collaborating with them to provide products to fashion brands.
Yeah, but is it building the network, the supply chain for big brands to engage with local artisans, or the private owner that should engage with these people to repair?
No, it's B2B2C, our model. So we offer this service to the fashion brands.
Yeah.
They can implement on white label.
Yeah.
But we didn't have internal capacity, just a network of certified artisans. And then we provide this service to the fashion brand that they can provide to their customer as well.
Sure.
This is the current model we are targeting and developing.
Have you already had from 0 to 1 moment? To me, there are many. There's not one. This is when you really say, okay, when it's just an idea and now it's taking shape, and maybe you're still at that stage where you still have to pick one of the options you have identified on how to implement. Yeah. I don't know. For you, at the pre-acceleration stage, maybe it's picking one vertical.
Yeah, it's exploring different direction. Take one direction and build on this direction. Don't do like 1,000 of things. Do 100 and do it right.
Yeah.
So this is also the thing that I've learned here. So now we are exploring one direction. I didn't have so far 0 to 1. I think I've just engaged with few partners, and we try to provide our service to this partner. So let's see. That's 0 to 1. I think it's today because we have incorporated the company.
You have started a partnership. You're in a relationship now.
you were incorporated when you started the service?
Yes, we incorporated 2 weeks before. Maybe because we thought it was a hard requirement from the acceleration, but it wasn't. Independently of the acceleration program, we were really into the idea of starting the business.
You quit all your jobs, right?
All of us at different stages. Me at first, not related to Brix. Tommaso later, as he saw we were committed. Then Luca, for him, it started as a side project. And then, of course, at some point, it started being like, okay, this is real. I cannot do both. It's impossible. Yeah. And we were also, I think for us, it was important to be 3 instead of 2, because 3 is always better. And we were 2 technical co-founders, which is today's gold. Somehow, for us, we have to develop software.
Yeah, we're going to help to build something, but so far we have to test. So we didn't need a super tech application, but we'll need it for sure. Yeah. Yet one difference from the acceleration and pre-acceleration, that we are not full-time. We are still with our jobs.
This is a good point. All of us prepare for this by saying we have a budget. Start paying yourself as soon as you have funding. It's important to get into the company cycle. Paying yourself a salary is normal, even if you don't make revenue. Start with an average salary or a bit below to survive. It has to be a true cost to the company.
Some people told me that if you fundraise the first time, maybe pre-seed, and start immediately paying yourself, a red flag to investors.
It's a red flag if you pay yourself a lot.
Okay.
We're living in Milan. How can you survive with not even paying yourself a tiny bit? So I would say it's a fair salary as a starting. And also in our case, we are 3 co-founders. We have 3 different backgrounds. So you cannot expect that all of us have the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And of course, you have these kind of talks before. So can you live off of your savings for 6 months at least? But of course, you have to go beyond that and say, okay, we're talented. In order to pursue our idea, it's fair to pay yourself. If you're not paying yourself, you are in another way pulling the money from another source. It's a red flag if you pay yourself 30K. It's a red flag.
That's a good point. We were talking with my co-founder and say, okay, we are going to do like fundraising, and then probably we are going to take some salary for us because we have to survive here if we quit our job. Our idea is go full time on this idea. By the end of the year, it's difficult.
Paying yourself like a part of your monthly budget is important through the company. It gets you in that cycle. It's also tax efficient to use your own money. If, like in our stage, we haven't raised that much money to say, okay, with the part we raised, it would cover our salaries plus operational expenses. So that's why we split among our savings. These people are betting on you because you're going to build something, and they know. They invest in you, so they cover your expenses and the company expenses.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So this is the point. But you cannot do it now, the acceleration. I'm raising to pay myself. I would say paying yourself, for some months it means commitment. This is my 2 cents.
Okay. Would you do it again?
For sure. Hope I can do it again on another venture.
Yeah, me too. Maybe in the acceleration program.
Good luck, Revivo.
Buona fortuna, Brix.
Thank you.
Okay.